The NBA Conference Finals are finally underway. 4 teams going all out for a shot at the finals. Game 1 between the Thunder and Timberwolves was the opening act, where we saw the first layer of game plans in this final battle for the West. Matchups were tested, schemes were exposed, and stars were challenged. The following is a full tactical breakdown of this Game 1 and the initial opening moves in this series. All right, GOATs, today we've got an awesome sponsor, Prize Picks, the ultimate destination for daily fantasy sports. If you think you know ball and want to turn your pocket change into serious cash, then Prize Picks has you covered. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 6 players, decide if they are going to have more or less on their projected stats, and boom, you're basically a sports stockbroker without the boring spreadsheets. And it's not just basketball. You can bet on baseball, MMA, golf. Heck, if they had competitive thumb wrestling, I'm sure they'd have that too. Sign up today at prizepicks.com or use code GOATED when you deposit $10. Play your first $5 and Prize Picks will hand you $50 instantly. Whether you win or lose, let's get paid. Before the game, Coach Dagnall was focused on not settling and playing with force.
I thought that was one of the best things we did Sunday. Like, we were not settling for anything on Sunday, right? On the gas, we're in the paint right here. We showed this one on Saturday. Great extra pass on the gas again, right? Play with force, make them deal with us.
While Coach Finch was focused on transition defense.
Don't feed them. In the half court, they do struggle to consistently score. It's the turnovers to transition points that they absolutely thrive on. They are a knockout punch team.
The game started with the Wolves running a 3-man weave at the top of the key, and Chet getting lost on the Rudy pin down.
Playoffs. As McDaniels knocks down the first shot.
And since the action had worked to perfection, Coach Finch ran it again.
That is the key. Both teams know how to turn over their opponent. As you see, Jaden McDaniels getting going early.
A bold move from Finch, opting to attack Chet to start the series.
And then wound up with a dominant blowout win. Edwards against Holcomb, step back 3, got it. What a start.
As far as guarding Shea, McDaniels was obviously the primary. And right off the bat, you saw why Coach Finch's #1 priority was trying to contain OKC in transition.
Daniels gets inside, double team, finds Hartenstein.
With OKC switching on the Conley pick and roll, Dort's funeral led to Ant getting the wide open look off the bounce.
Oklahoma City, a lot of versatility in their roster. Can play big, can play small. Edwards' jump shot is good. And Edwards has knocked down his first 2.
When Coach Dagnall put his first substitutions into the game, it was obvious that Case and Wallace was going to be a good option on Ant at the point of attack. But after the strip, Ant-Man went full quantum fury to erase the mistake.
And it's stolen by Williams. Jalen Williams open floor, gets the bump, layup blocked by Edwards.
Shea was getting to the line at will, and Ant got a tech for feeling that the whistle was already tilted against his team.
Unsportsmanlike technical. Gilgeous Alexander knocks down the first.
Another Shea foul, and the Wolves were starting to feel some type of way.
It's a reason NBA Twitter likes to call him the free throw merchant, Mike.
With Hartenstein getting hung up on the inverted pick and roll, Randall got himself on the scoreboard from distance. And after McDaniels got dusted on the pick and roll snake, Naz was no match for SGA with a head of steam.
25 points, 7.5 assists. Beautiful spin move and a little English. SGA with a sweet play.
Too much over-dribbling from the Thunder was setting fire to Coach Finch's #1 priority on the game plan.
Wallace, alley-up to Hartenstein. Defense to offense, OKC style.
But textbook drive and kicks-off closeout attacks was generating good offense for the Wolves in the half court. When Shea got cross-matched on Randall in transition, it was food on aisle 9.
When Hartenstein is away from the rim, those bigs from Minnesota can eat.
Lethal from mid-range.
Turnovers leading to fast break points. Coach Finch was having an existential crisis out there, seeing his team executing the exact opposite of the game plan.
Lost the handle, picked up by Williams, again in the open floor. They call that a dunk here at OKC, and the Thunder have their first lead.
Outside of Shea, OKC's half-court offense was bad to start, while Minnesota's half-court offense was a lot more solid.
Reed kicks it out in the corner. DiVincenzo fires away, hits the 3.
However, those transition points, 13 of the Thunder's 20 points in the first quarter being off turnovers, was the difference in the first quarter, 23-20. An early 3-point lead for Minnesota to start. The second quarter began with OKC aggressively attacking in early offense and feasting on 2-on-1 advantages against Rudy and drop.
Off in the series. Williams on the drive. Hartenstein with the stuff.
The Thunder continued to crowd the paint, but Minnesota responded with swing opportunities off the drive and kick action.
Kicks it out. Good swarming defense here. Randle, three-pointer, he's good. Julius Randle, 3 for 4 from long distance.
Alex Caruso's defensive clinic continued from the Denver series, this time matched up with Julius Randle.
And an offensive foul called on Randle.
And on the other end, he continued spacing the floor and finishing possessions from distance. Both teams were struggling with securing their defensive glass, with King Julius making good use of Minnesota's second chance opportunities.
All the way out to Randle. Randle's going to try another three. Puts it in. Julius Randle, his 4th three-pointer already.
Off the pick and roll, the Wolves went into drop coverage to contain the J-Dub drive, freeing up Hartenstein's automatic nail floater. But the Wolves continued collapsing the defense by rejecting screens and then spraying it out to shooters.
Pass, Alexander Walker connects on a three. That's 8 three-pointers now for Minnesota. Mark Dignault wants timeout.
OKC is allowing 12.8% of opponents' shots to come from the corners this postseason. That's 3rd highest in these playoffs. The Thunder kept finding success on get actions. Attacking Gobert in drop, Aaron Wiggins found himself mismatched against Randle in the post, and that size and strength was just too much to handle. And with confidence flowing, King Julius called for the ball again on the next trip. Wiggins sagged off, and Julius made him pay.
And okay, Julius Randle. Randle's got it cooking right now. Julius Randle, 18 of the 38 points. He's 5 of 6 from three-point range.
Meanwhile, SGA was struggling to find a rhythm as Minnesota's defense held him in check, and the frustration was visible.
Boy, McDaniel's really making it tough. He is fun to watch play defense. Just seems like he's everywhere. Contested shot way off of Gilgeous-Alexander.
Mike, they are doing an absolutely sensational job on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He ended the first half with just 11 points on 2 of 13 shooting.
Once Minnesota stopped fouling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, their defense on him was special.
A wrinkle that could kill the Wolves this series will be Daigneault unleashing Chet to attack Rudy at the point of attack. And off the double drag with Rudy in deep drop, Hartenstein decided to set a flare instead of roll, giving Wallace the best look of the series thus far. Seeing the Wolves trying some zone, Chet flashed to the nail, and with the low man occupied, Dort's baseline cut created the read. Knowing that Chet was not playing at the level, McDaniels spammed some screens and re-screens to clear just enough space for Ant to launch.
Baseline attack is exactly how they beat the Denver zone.
We've seen a bunch of zone in the playoffs so far. Edwards fires away and knocks down the three-pointer, his 2nd three. He's got 10.
But the half ended with the same theme. Minnesota's turnovers leading to transition opportunities for OKC.
Layup, missed it. Isaiah Joe misses it, but a foul.
Because of this, and despite Shai's struggles, it was just a 4-point edge for the Wolves at halftime, 48-44. Since Shai had struggled in the first half, Coach Daigneault opted to start the second running the offense through J-Dub.
They're pressuring SGA, so you're going to let Jalen Williams run your offense and get Shai off the ball.
SGA continued finding himself getting stuck in really bad situations, but with Randle ball watching, J-Dub was the release valve out of those spots. With McDaniels full court pressing him, SGA got the step on the change of direction, and Chet was the beneficiary on the easy read.
SGA trying to find his spot. Easy bucket for Chet Holmgren.
Mike Conley's rejection of the screen forced OKC into rotation, and McDaniels got to feast off of disorganized closeouts. With McDaniels on an island, the chairman of the MIDI committee started to get going.
Pulls back, he stumbled a bit. Counted and one. SGA with a bit of a limp when he comes up, but a chance for a three-point play.
And with Hartenstein late on the pick and roll, Ant got the daylight to launch.
OKC back up by 2. Shot clock at 8. Edwards finds some room, nails the three-pointer. His 3rd three, he's got 16.
J-Dub kept chopping wood and carrying water, haunting Ant off of ball screens. But with Ant now being somewhat of an improved playmaker, shooters were getting fed.
Makes his move, pulls back. Jalen Williams now chasing him. Gets into the paint. Conley, catch, fire, connects.
When J-Dub got the switch on Alexander Walker, it was an immediate reset to take advantage of the easier matchup. And with Walker denying Shai, J-Dub continued being that reliable second scorer OKC needs him to be. It was an absolute cookout, with everyone going at Alexander Walker.
The two cousins battling right there. SGA wins out. Timeout Minnesota. Thunder up 2.
A 10-0 run for OKC, making a living in the paint.
And it does not go down, gets his own rebound, back up and in. Williams a drive, up and under, banks it home. Gorgeous move and 10 straight points by the Thunder. Timeout.
Exacerbated by their absolutely suffocating defense.
Big, strong, down in a wide base defensive stance. The best thing you can do is try to take away that left hand, make him a passer. He's had a couple of defensive plays that have been big time.
It wasn't until Rudy sealed Shea to open the driving lane for Ant that the Wolves' bleeding was stopped.
Outlets to Edwards. Edwards dancing, prancing, gets to the rim, layup's good.
But with Kenrich Williams exploding to finish the quarter.
Kicks it out, Caruso, Holmgren. Kenrich Williams pulls up, jump shot, gets it to go. Kenrich Williams with some very good minutes off the bench. Kenrich Williams three, got it! Big three-pointer, and the Thunder with their largest lead of the game.
And Shea now automatic on his stops on a dime and leaners.
GA knocks it down. Now, shot's good and one. Took the hit, banked it home, and a chance for a three-point play.
Just taking him off the ball for a few plays to start the quarter.
The Wolves' 4-point lead at the half had been flipped into a 10-point lead for OKC going into the final frame. OKC opened the fourth with heavy pressure at the rim swarming Reed, but with the paint collapsed, the perimeter was left exposed. With Nas helping off of Chet on a Wallace drive, Holmgren got the open look from the kickout.
Range, DiVincenzo took a shot, Cason Wallace, Holmgren. He lines up a three and answers right back.
After struggling through the third, Randall finally got on the scoreboard in the second half, bullying his way to the cup. With J-Dub doubled, Caruso slipped to the top of the key, and with Dante giving him room, it was lights out.
To Caruso, sets, fires, and rattles in a three. He likes that.
Coming into this game, both teams were top 2 in the postseason defensively, but OKC's interior presence led by Chet made the difference.
DiVincenzo drives, reverse block by Holmgren.
And on offense, Holmgren continued to shine. On backdoor cuts, his timing was flawless.
It's deflected by DiVincenzo, Wallace right there to Holmgren. Holmgren with the flush.
As a short roll outlet, he made quick reads and finishes.
But they're always ready. Feet inside, Holmgren with a force.
And on the glass, he cleaned up misses and kept the Wolves at bay. Meanwhile, Minnesota's offense stalled out. The Wolves' supporting cast was lacking, with Nas, Dante, and Alexander Walker combining to shoot just 7 for 36 from the field and 5 for 28 from 3. And Shea was taking full advantage, pushing in transition and finishing through contact.
Foul, bucket, count it, and one. Some Shea sizzle here on the fourth. The lead is 13.
The only answer was to foul him, and McDaniels ended up fouling out trying to contain him.
Daniels trying to stay with SGA. And commits the foul. And that's it. McDaniels going to foul out.
OKC briefly went to a zone look, and Alexander Walker punished it from beyond the arc. But SGA countered with surgical mid-range precision, getting the separation with the step back.
Goes Alexander jumper.
With Dante showing help on SGA, J-Dub flashed open, and with an extra swing to the corner, Dort had a wide open look.
Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, corner three, high arcing three, goes down. Timeout Minnesota, largest lead of the night.
Randall still had some fight left, spinning his way through the defense for a finish in the paint, but OKC slammed the door shut. When Alexander Walker helped on a Wallace drive, J-Dub cut baseline, and the lob from Wallace sealed it.
Has it on the drive, goes inside, throws it up, and Jalen Williams with the flush.
They're just playing in space. That's too much space.
And then Randall gave Caruso just enough daylight from deep, and that was curtains.
Caruso, three-pointer, bang! 18-point lead with 3 minutes to play.
OKC outscored Minnesota 70-40 in the second half, blitzing the Wolves to take a 1-0 series lead with a dominant 26-point win.